What's up? Welcome, everybody, to the Good Dumb Fun Show.
We figured it out, dude.
We got a name. We got a podcast.
We got a name.
We got a name.
That's about it.
And so we decided we're ready to record again.
Yeah, dude.
So we are, week and a half, 2 weeks since episode 0?
I don't remember.
Something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
So not a lot has changed. We did some...
a lot has changed in the theoretical. Like, my knowledge has changed. Now, whether or not that applies to anything or makes any noticeable impact is up for debate.
Like podcasting knowledge?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Like editing, recording, all that stuff. Like, I've learned a lot. Now, whether it comes out in the format or not, I don't know.
Yeah. Well, and just so the viewers know, this is somewhat of a pre-recorded episode. Eventually, once we get everything figured out, it's going to be more of a weekly type of, like, you know, everything's going to move forward in almost real time.
Yeah.
But we're recording this, which is episode 1, before episode 0's really even been posted.
Yeah.
But episode 0 is ready. So once we kind of get a couple of these under our belt and we feel like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, this will mean nothing. The timeline will mean nothing to them.
Yeah. So, but just in case we talk about anything that's almost like time-stamped, you know?
Oh, yeah, like World War III.
Yeah.
Yeah, like we're like, man, did you hear those bombs last night?
Yeah. So, man, I hope not. But, you know, it is, well, we don't need to say the date, but this may be, depending on what changes in the next, between now and when this is posted, just know that this is pre-recorded. So
yeah, you want to do like a live show one day?
We could do a live show. I think we probably need people to know this exists first.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's just going to be two guys talking in public
in an empty room.
Yeah. Kind of like we're doing right now.
That is true. This is an empty room.
Just outside.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that'd be fun. I think that's been the struggle through this whole thing is we are in like the ground zero, like setting everything up phase, and both of us at different times are like so forward thinking about what we want this to be eventually.
Oh yeah, for sure.
That we get distracted by stuff that we are not even close to ready for yet.
Yeah.
And so
like merch.
Merch, live shows.
Yeah, dude.
A studio.
Revenue.
I don't know.
Cash dollar.
A podcast hosting platform. Like stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which by the time all this comes out, we'll get that part figured out. But
yeah.
Anyway, we got episode 0 under the books. We got a name. We've got a show. We've got
an idea.
We've got a vision, and I think that's what's important.
That's true.
And we've got a will. A will to make this thrive.
Where there's a will, there's a will.
There is a will. So, anyway, what do you want to talk about today?
Well, dude, you catch me up on, it's been a while since I've seen you. It's been over a week.
Yeah. So, one thing you guys have to know about me and Patrick is we have separation anxiety with each other. So, we do have some catching up to do. I've been traveling. Little family vacation I mentioned in episode 0. We were getting ready to go, and I have gone and came back. My family is still up north. We have some family up in the mountain states, and we were visiting them. We ended up actually camping and doing some fishing in North Dakota, and I've never been to North Dakota.
Very cool.
But it was neat. I'm from the Midwest. I've been to South Dakota. I've never been to North Dakota. It's a lot prettier than you'd think. I guess I always thought of North Dakota as like a colder version of Kansas.
Yeah.
Like I just picture it as flat, kind of arid tundra, like southern Canada, sort of. But it's very pretty. The Badlands were really cool. I think that's what it was. We drove through some really like mountainous, rocky, like very scenic, like computer background level beauty.
Yeah, like Windows 8 kind of thing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like something you'd expect to see in like a National Geographic like photo magazine of just like beautiful landscapes of America. It was very, very cool.
When you camped, did you camp like, are we talking like on the ground in tents, or are we talking like in a camper?
It was in a hunting trailer. So
a hunting trailer,
a camper. pull behind camper. My kids were with us. We have 2 boys, 3 and under. So it was about as rough as I probably would have wanted them
For
to
2
be
children,
in.
yeah.
I mean, it was as rough as I would have been comfortable with them camping.
Yeah.
Like, I would not have brought them.
You're not going to put them in hammocks?
No, I'm not going to bring them.
Hey, bears can't get to them, dude, if they're up high enough.
I don't know, man.
That's probably not true.
Yeah. Just in. Bears can climb. But no, I wouldn't have wanted them, like, in the elements, really. It was...
You had to teach them young, dude.
Yeah, but not that young.
Just start them on the dirt with nothing.
No.
Just be like, I'm going to sleep in the camper.
Yeah.
You're going to sleep outside.
Yeah. You figure it out.
Yeah.
No, we...
Did you see any horrible sights of nature? Did you see the cycle happen? Did you see anything die?
No, we really... we saw some antelope and some deer. It was
awesome.
It was really a fishing trip, so we saw...
Oh, okay.
We saw a lot of fish, obviously. We were reeling them in.
Yeah.
But out there on Lake Sakakawea, and I hope I'm saying that right. But it was SAKAKAWEA, I think.
I'm not gonna
it's out there
try.
on a
Yeah,
it's out there on a reservation we stayed in the nearby camping site and had the trailer hooked up and everything. So
okay, cool.
Yeah. So and then we would just drive to the lake. It wasn't very far. So
very cool.
But yeah, we spent more time there than I expected. It was a lot of fun. I thought we were going to be there for a couple of days. We were there pretty much the whole time, and until I had to come back. But it was a good time.
Cool. Very cool. So did you see anything noteworthy while you were out there? I mean, you guys caught some fish.
Yeah, we caught some fish. We were out on the boat twice for pretty much half days. The kids would nap on the boat, and then by the time they woke up from their nap, we were pretty much heading back. And they enjoyed it. They liked our oldest liked to help reel, and he helped with the net a couple times. The youngest is 1, and he's just kind of starting to walk. So watching him trying to walk around on a boat was kind of funny. But
yeah, what a horrible staging ground to learn how to walk.
That's kind of how he walks anyway.
Yeah.
He always kind of walks like he's on a boat.
Uh-huh.
But so it was fun though. And he liked to touch the fish and stuff. Like we kind of presented him with a safe part of the fish that he could touch.
Yeah.
Like away from the mouth, away from the gills, anything sharp. And he liked to feel the slimy fish. He thought that was funny. But that was a good time. And then I don't think we really saw much else as far as wildlife is concerned. If something comes to mind, I'll bring it back up. But we, primarily we were out on the lake. I heard there was northern pike in the lake, those big mean fish.
Yeah.
And I wanted one bad, but I never did catch one.
Could you imagine getting killed by one of those things?
Are
the pikes the one? No, I may be thinking of something different. Pikes are the ones that jump out of the water, right?
I don't know.
Or am I thinking of something else?
I think you're thinking of something else.
I'm thinking
that's a great white shark.
Oh no! I'm thinking like river monsters, like those things that jump out of the water and hit people in the head. No. The fish that they're huge and they come up and people have been they knock you overboard and you drown or knock you unconscious or whatever. Like they fly through the air.
No, they're not.
Kind of thing.
No, I don't know what kind of fish that is, but that's not this.
Not what you're talking about. Okay.
Yeah,
but pike are mean.
Pike are mean. They got big teeth. And
so they can tear you up.
Yeah, they'll mess you up, but I don't think they're going to jump out of the boat. Here's what I learned about pike, because when I mentioned that I wanted to catch a pike, the folks in the know, aka my in-laws, told me that the pikes they have caught smell terrible. And I'm like, how does that work? I'm like, are you talking about when you cut them open, they smell terrible? They're like, no, from the moment they're on the boat, they smell terrible.
Is the lake dirty?
No, it's just
they're just little stinkers.
Yeah, they stink. Okay. And then I guess these fishing boats have like a cooler you can put the fish in to keep them alive,
right.
So they're they stay fresh while you're out there.
Yeah.
And you don't dismiss them until the end of the trip. Because we were catching to eat.
The way you describe that is it's like imagine somebody kidnapping you and they're like, we got to keep them fresh. So they keep you in a nice little air conditioned cell.
Yeah.
And they're like, we just got to keep them fresh for later.
Until we
Isn't it funny though how we perceive that? When we talk about it with animals, it's kind of it's okay.
Yeah. I struggle with that because I am not like morally or ethically or whatever you want to say, I'm not against hunting and fishing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it does, like, sometimes reality sets in and I'm like, this is a living thing.
Yeah.
And I
this
for a
is a bit weird.
for a second it bothers me. And then
you're hungry.
Before I know it, it's dinner time, and we're frying them up, and then it's delicious. Yeah. So
yeah, once they're dismissed, I mean, it's like, you know, what
like
can you do then?
Whatever the fish equivalent of the Rainbow Road is.
Yeah.
we keep them fresh until they're ready
Look away, little Johnny.
Until they're ready to cross the rainbow waterfall.
Oh, no.
And anyway, it's called a live well. And
yes. Okay.
Apparently they slime up the live well.
Oh.
And makes it like it's annoying to clean. And I'm like,
like a fish snail.
Yeah. So I'm like, how is this pike, like, how does this even happen?
Yeah.
And I asked some questions, and like I just never could really wrap my head around it. And I finally was like, I feel like an idiot. I'm going to stop asking questions, and I'm just going to fish, you know?
Yeah.
And it was a good time. We all caught some. On the second day, I was kind of on the hot side of the boat because we had multiple reels out at all times, and for whatever reason, you know, my side was just I couldn't keep them off the hook, you know.
Yeah.
And that's just happened to be where I was sitting. I mean, I wasn't even holding the rod; it was on the mount, you know. So it's nothing I was doing, but it was a good time, a lot of action, good fishing trip. Kids enjoyed it.
Cool, good.
So they were having a good time. I think if we weren't catching anything, they would have been bored. So it was a good time.
Good. I'm glad you had a good time. I had the exact opposite of a good time while you were gone.
Yeah. Tell me about yours, and then I'll tell you about my travels home were a little bit of a nightmare too. So,
you know, not that time matters. So in relation to us describing this episode, so I'm just going to keep it as simple as possible. So we went to a nearby metropolis, a nearby big city, to get a deal on a car. And we bought the car. We liked the car. We liked everything about it. It looked fine. Inspected it. Seemed good. Everything on paper looked good. We test drove it for a while. Everything was looking awesome. We were like, we're killing it, dude. This is awesome. So we're driving out of this sprawling metropolis that took probably 2 hours for us to get out of. Like, traffic was bad. There was construction, all that fun stuff. But the drive was safe and fine. As soon as we get out of the town, the interstate opened up. Like, it went from, like, 6 lanes of bumper-to-bumper traffic to 6 lanes, and there's maybe 10 cars. It was awesome. The road opened up, and we were like, oh, dude, we're out of here. Like, we're heading home, dude.
Alexa, play Freebird.
And and so as before the guitar solo even crescendos, I look in the rear view, and I see my wife, and I see her flip the hazards on. And I'm just so sad. I'm like, oh, this sucks.
Oh, so you're driving. Oh, that makes sense. You're driving separate cars.
Yes.
She's driving the new car.
Yeah.
And you're
I'm
driving
my
the one
car
that you drove out there. Okay.
Yeah. And so I look, see the hazards. She pulls over on the side of the road. The car is just not running. And I'm like, oh, no. Because in my mind, I have horrible luck with automobiles. I'm assuming the worst already. I'm like, this engine exploded, or the transmission went out, or something. I'm like, whatever it is, the car's totaled. Which is not, I mean, it's still running, but it just wouldn't go.
And the car has been in your possession for about how long?
About 2 hours.
Okay.
Yeah, so it lasted about 2 hours, which is great already. We bought it used. We bought it as is. There was nothing we could do as far as we couldn't take it back, you know.
Are you comfortable sharing the year?
Yeah, it's a 2016.
Okay.
So basically a used car.
Yeah.
And so it was, we ran, we gambled and we lost. And so the person that we bought it from towed it back and went a whole week without hearing back from it and how much it was going to cost to repair it and all this sort of stuff. So we ended up being able to get it fixed for a good price. I just had to go get it.
You had to pay for the fix?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, dude, we had to pay for we bought it as is.
Oh,
nothing,
okay.
And nothing that came up. Everything on the inspection report prior to us buying it was fine. So ultimately, there was nothing to do other than,
In the eyes of the U.S. government, you broke the car.
Yes.
Okay.
Exactly. And so we got it fixed, thankfully. And but I had to go pick it up. So I called my dad, and I was like, hey, Dad, can I borrow your truck? Can you come with me? Let's get it, I was like, we rented a trailer because I was like, I'm not trying to drive it home because whatever, bad juju, dude, I'm not doing it. Let's just strap it in, drive it, and get home. So here's where things start to go bad, as if it wasn't bad enough.
I was going to say, I thought they started to go bad.
We get to the mechanic shop, and the guy, it's busy. Guys are working with customers, all that stuff. So as I'm waiting, I pull up the invoice. The invoice has a different address than where I'm standing. And I was like, And so I was like, wait, am I in the wrong spot? And I Googled it, and it was 30 minutes on the other side of the town. Had to get back on the interstate, bumper-to-bumper traffic. It took us about 45 minutes to get to the other spot because I panicked. I was like, oh, we're at the wrong shop. So I run out. We get there. Well, first, let me back up. I walk outside of the dealership because my dad's waiting, and I go, I'm so sorry. I took us to the wrong spot. And so we drive all the way over there. We get in line. We get up to the front desk. I ask the guy, I'm like, hey, here's the car I'm here to pick up. And he goes, it's not here. And I go, what do you mean it's not here? Is this not
your address?
Yeah. I'm like, is this? And I show him it, and he goes, yeah, it's not here. It's at this place. And the place he said was the place we were at the first time.
No.
And so I was like, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, are you sure that it's over there? Because if I have to do this again, I'm going to be so sad. So he's like, yes, he calls, it's over there. So I walk out, and my dad's standing there. He had already, dropped the trailer ramp. He had got it ready. He's like, all right, they bringing the car out? And
Load her up.
I looked him in the eyes, and I went, I'm so sorry. And he goes, what? And I go, it's at the place we just left. And he's mad because he thinks it's their fault. So he's like, so they sent you to the wrong place? And I went, no. No, I sent us to the wrong
You're
place.
like, I panicked earlier.
And I'm so sorry. So then we get all the way back again. So now we just burned 2+ hours to try to figure out where the car is. Now, once we get back there, pay for the car, get the car, everything's good. So we, in our infinite wisdom, we were like, how do we avoid the interstate? How do we get around it? Just because the traffic was getting worse. By the time we got there and finally got everything sorted, it was rush hour, and it was getting bad. So we're like, all right, we're just going to do all this little bobbing and weaving and cutting through and avoiding it, essentially. So we're driving down this back road, literally like a one-lane highway, neighborhood-only road. And I'm driving because I did not trust my dad's driving skills with this car. I was like, I'm responsible. I want to be responsible, so I'm going to drive. So I'm towing this car, and as we're coming up a hill and we're about to crest the hill and go down and curve off to the left, coming from the right side of our direction, so let's just say we're heading south, coming in from our east, there's a on-ramp, like a on-road that curves like a yield, where somebody that's wanting to go that way would curve around and come up going the same direction as us, but they're supposed to yield to us. So I see a car coming, and I notice that cars have body language. You know what I mean? If you look at a car, you may not be able to see the driver, but you just get that feeling when you're looking at the car and you go, they're going to do something dumb. I got the body language from that car. I went, this person is not going to stop. But not only so I'm thinking I'm going to slow down so that they will go on, and then hopefully they'll go, She did not get into that lane to...
Or he.
They. Ultimately all that matters is they almost died. And here's why. Instead of merging onto the lane, they decide to halfway merge to U-turn. And when she gets past the line, they get past the line.
It's out now.
It's out, yeah. So this lady pulls out and goes to U-turn and stops in the middle of the road. And I'm going 30 miles an hour with a car behind me, on a trailer.
Yeah.
So, and this all happens in the blink of an eye. Literally, I slam on the brakes. I feel it. I feel us jackknife. And we're in a huge, diesel truck with a car behind us, and this person is in a small little Honda Civic.
Yeah, waiting to
and
get
I'm looking
flattened.
And I go, and I'm like, this person's dead. I was like, it's over. There's not. I mean, I'm like, we're almost 10,000 pounds, and I slam on the brakes, and I'm like, we're just gonna pancake. I'm like, we're fine. She's not gonna be fine. So I let off the brakes, and I just matrixed.
You just accepted that you were gonna murder this person?
No. I was like,
I'm gonna let off the brakes. Let's just hit the gas a little bit.
No, I just saw like a ribbon of fate, like hope. I was like, I see a string of hope, and so thankfully she was just not far enough that I was able to squeeze around, and thankfully there was no oncoming traffic or anything, but I was able to swerve around her. My dad recalls the story because, again, for him it was slow motion as well, but he's looking at this lady, and as we go by her, she's just
horrified.
Yeah, horrified. And I hope she's horrified at herself.
She should be if she stops in the middle of an intersection.
Because surely she knows that's her, which, it's driving. And nobody knows when they're in the wrong in driving until it's too late. But I hope she understands that because I'm the Neo of driving, that I saved her life from her own bad decision. Yeah. So that was scary. Maybe. But it was like a movie in the sense that as soon as we got clear, I'm literally white-knuckling the steering wheel. And my dad turns around and he goes, I can't believe it's still there.
The car?
The car. And so literally, as we all like sort of calm down, I extend the fist and we fist bump and we drive off into the sunset.
That's a beautiful story.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Could not believe it.
So in the biopic, who plays you? Are we talking like Brad Pitt?
Willem Dafoe.
Oh, that'd be great. Yeah. Yeah. And then Samuel L. Jackson as your dad.
Yeah. Yes, Samuel L. Jackson's my dad.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Keira Knightley is that poor lady in the car.
Just as like a cameo.
Yeah.
It's like her only scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Just horrified.
So the car's fine.
Car's fine.
And
we got it home.
No further issues, or have you just been afraid to drive it?
So we got home.
Ever since?
No, we drove the mess out of it because I was like, we got to know.
Yeah.
Because I don't need my wife breaking down, heading to work.
Yeah.
And me be like, have to go, do all that and just deal with it again.
She calls you and she's broke. You're like,
yeah, dude, got to inconvenience.
Like, call someone else.
Yeah, dude, call you. Yeah. No. So we get it back and take it off, drop the trailer off, drop my dad off, all that stuff, and we start driving it. It drives great. It's perfect now. And it's been almost a week now.
Well, yeah, I think you're in the clear.
And it's been driving good. So, yeah.
Knock on wood.
Yeah. So, and on the road trip, on the way back, took my dad to Buc-ee's for the first time.
Okay.
He had fun with that.
Yeah.
Had fun with that. Buc-ee's is awesome.
Buc-ee's is awesome. Not a sponsor.
Yeah, not a sponsor. But
we'd like them to be.
We hadn't eaten anything like all day. Mm-hmm. We got up at like...
Buc-ee's is a great place to be if you haven't eaten anything all day. Because they got it all.
I know, dude. And it was...
They got a wall of beef jerky.
You want to talk about walking down the halls of...
Beef brisket.
Heaven, dude. You're just looking around.
Pulled pork.
Everything is like so good.
What's your opinion on the Buc-ee nuggets?
Never had them.
Okay. So
I can tell you what I've had.
Yeah, tell me what you've had.
And you're going to find this hilarious because I've never had the brisket.
Okay. Me neither, and it was an accident. I went there specifically for a brisket sandwich on a road trip for work.
Yeah.
And I picked up what I thought was a brisket sandwich, paid for what I thought was a brisket sandwich, walked out to my car with what I thought was a brisket sandwich, opened it up to find a pulled pork sandwich, looked back at the sticker, I picked up a pulled pork sandwich that was mistakenly placed in the brisket sandwich section.
Is that not the same thing?
Pulled pork?
Yeah.
Brisket's beef.
Oh, okay.
We're talking cows and pigs.
Okay.
So
it is a difference.
It's barbecue.
Yeah.
So, and it's
I just
meat.
assumed it'd all be cooked the same.
I mean, yeah, it's kind of that lowest
You know
slope.
me, I'm not a big fan of barbecue, so I don't know the lingo.
Yeah, well, the brisket in general, if it's done right, is delicious.
Okay.
As is pulled pork, but they're very different things.
Yeah.
For a long time, I preferred brisket until I started barbecuing myself, and I just cannot seem to dial brisket in.
Yeah.
And every time I've made it, other people like it.
Mm-hmm.
But I have never enjoyed my brisket. And then I've ordered brisket at restaurants since then, and I haven't enjoyed it as much. And I'm like, did I ruin brisket for myself? For my inability to do it right?
Yeah.
But pulled pork's great. It's easy. Brisket should be easy, but I can't do it. So But you should try brisket. And Bucky's, I've heard, has good brisket. And
I will next time. No,
yeah.
I've had the whatever they call their chips. I've of course had the pecans and the walnuts and all that stuff. But the main thing that I get every time is they have a steak fajita burrito.
Okay.
And it's the best burrito ever.
Really?
Yeah, dude, it's
I'll
so
have
good.
to check that out. We've gotten a few things. So my wife enjoys Bucky's.
Yeah.
And there's like, of course there's the barbecue sandwiches and stuff, but there's like a kolache or something like that. It's like a big pig in a blanket that she likes. There's like there's a sausage on a stick. It's like a corn dog, but instead of a hot dog and cornbread, it's a sausage in pancake mix.
Oh.
So it's like a pancake and sausage on a stick.
God bless America.
I know. So, and that's pretty good. And it's like a McGriddle, not a sponsor, where like the syrup is the syrup is like kind of infused into the pancake.
Yeah.
And that's pretty good. And then they're what else? The Bucky nuggets are good. If you like a good like kind of caramel puff thing, I don't even know what they would define them as, but they're good. And then they have flavored ones now that come in like a bag, and that you can get in all sorts of different flavors. And I honestly probably prefer those. But Bucky's is great.
Yeah,
so
it's so good. And he had a great time. We just wandered around for a little bit. Of course, we were ready to be home by that point. But we wandered around. We ate, stuffed our faces, got home.
Yeah.
Everything's all good.
Yeah.
So then that all happened on Friday. So then Sunday rolls around. Yeah.
This past Friday?
Yeah. Yeah.
Friday the 13th?
Yeah. You know what, dude?
I just realized that.
I just realized that as well.
It's real.
Yeah. I'm glad we survived. Hey, but
Episode
I survived.
Episode 2, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
We'll dive in.
Glad we survived.
Anyway, go on. That was Friday.
So that was Friday. Saturday was a chill day. Didn't get up to much of nothing. Sunday, Father's Day. We go to church. Everything goes fine. I come home and find that we have a bag of trail mix with chocolate in it. The bag is completely empty.
Oh, no.
So my little dog, Phineas, who is about 7 pounds, had cleared out. Probably now when I left, and normally, see, what we do is we normally are very good about keeping to make sure that there's nothing he can get to. But the only thing I can think of is just in my just woke up days, I was eating that bag for breakfast.
And you accidentally poured it in his bowl
instead
of dog food?
No, I left it on my office desk. And so the only thing I can think of is that he pushed the office door open, literally jumped onto the desk and knocked it down, and then got in it. I was like, you little dirtbag.
Yeah.
But he ate probably like a third of the bag.
Okay.
So it was a lot. It was probably like 2 cups.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, most of it's granola.
Yeah.
But still, it had chocolate in it, so it had enough that I was like, okay, I need to take him to the vet.
Yeah, probably look into this.
So we
for a 7-pound dog.
Immediately take him to the vet. He's fine. He is just loving life. Now, when he got to the vet, he wasn't happy because he was like, this sucks.
Yeah.
But they checked him over, and the vet was like, he's fine. Like, what happened? And like, because he seems fine. And we explained the situation. They're like, okay, yeah, it was a good idea to bring him here. They look at him, and they're like, based on the windows, like, we're not going to flush him, like, just watch him. And if he starts exhibiting signs, call us back, and we'll walk you through it from there. The rest of the day, he's completely fine. Mm-hmm. No issues.
Yeah.
Everything's normal.
He's like, I like chocolate.
Yeah, he's like, I'm good.
Yeah.
So thank goodness.
Yeah, that's
great. But man, dude, when
that stuff is scary.
It is scary, and not only was it scary because normally, like, again, we go to such great lengths because we know he's a little rascal, and so just that one, like, it's like, man, I can't do nothing in this house, dude. Like, I have to be just on guard 24/7.
This house is a prison.
Yeah, dude, because you can't just be normal, dude. He's always, because he's such a little food demon, and he's constantly, like, in your face when you're trying to eat. Like, you're having to, like, get out of here, dude. And it's just, there's no peace, It's like, I just want to, like, I want to be able to stand up and go somewhere and leave my coffee on my office desk. I don't want to have to pick it up and put it on a shelf every time, or I have a little bowl of anything and I have to go home. Nope, I got to put this on the top shelf somewhere where he can't reach it.
I didn't know he was such a little like rascal.
Oh, dude, my wife,
stuff.
She has such a funny video of she went to the restroom and came back, and literally in the 1 minute she was gone, she walks around the corner because she gets from our home security, she got a little notification that there was movement in the living room. She pulls the kitchen up, and he's standing on the kitchen table, all fours, just looking for something because we didn't leave anything on the table. And so she rounds the corner and catches him red-handed, and he's just... And she's like, "What are you doing?"
He's like,
and then he jumps down and walks up to her like, "Oh, what are we doing today?"
Yeah.
He's like, "Yeah, I caught you red-handed.
Yeah, let's
you
just forget
dirty
about
little
that.
rat.
Yeah.
You thieving rat."
Yeah.
So, but thankfully he's fine.
We had our puppy. We have a German Shepherd. He's 6 years old now. But when he was a puppy, he was a little nightmare too. The amount of times, it's a miracle he survived his first year because we decided not to kennel him because we had another dog who was not kenneled and knew how to handle himself.
Yeah.
And we thought, oh, the puppy will learn from this other dog. Dude, we lost a couch, 2 recliners, Apple phone an Apple computer charger, several like pieces of wood furniture got shaved like we had a freaking beaver in the house.
Like he just went ballistic.
He was teething, and he was just tearing everything up. German Shepherds go through a phase where they're very destructive.
Okay.
And they have a lot of energy that they don't know what to do with. And this was true for him. His name's Moose, and he's as big as one now, but when he was little, he just did not know how to handle himself and how to behave. And by the time we were like, maybe we should kennel this dog, everything was destroyed anyway. Yeah. And our older dog, he's a lab mix. We locked them in the guest room to try to minimize the destruction. And
welcome to your
we
prison.
came home one day, and this 85-pound lab mix dog is on top of the bed because the puppy couldn't jump on the bed. And we're like, okay, that makes sense. Then the puppy figures out how to jump on the bed. We came home one day. This 85-pound dog has got himself stuck under the bed trying to get away from the puppy. And, yeah.
Should make this a vet show.
Honestly, though, dude, we kept our vet open, I'm pretty sure. And thankfully, we knew him. And he gave us his cell phone number. We went to church with him. He became a really good family friend, and we got pretty close. But he was also our vet, so we tried to respect that boundary. But every now and then, we had to call him and be like, "Hey, Moose ate my laptop charger. What do we do?"
Oh no!
And literally, he was so proud. The dog brings the little end that actually plugs into the computer.
Yeah.
He brought that to my wife as like a trophy. And she was like, "Where's the rest?" And I was like, "I don't know." And she's like, "Where'd you have it plugged in at?" And I was like, "Over here." And the block that plugs into the wall was right underneath the electrical outlet. The entire rest of the cord was gone.
Were you able to find it?
He ate it.
He ate all that. That's like what?
I'm
6
talking,
feet of wire?
Yeah.
7 feet of wire?
Yeah, probably
with
6.
interest?
6 or 7 feet of wire. This was a genuine Apple product that I've since had to replace with a knockoff because of this dog. And he ate the whole thing like he was in freaking Lady and the Tramp, slurped it up like a spaghetti noodle. Everything was in his stomach, and the vet said if we don't flush his stomach out, he will need surgery or he will die.
Oh my gosh.
Because he had so much metal in his stomach from the wires. So we are now dumping medicine cups full of hydrogen peroxide down this dog's throat.
To get him to
make him puke it up. And he vomited all over our backyard little metal shavings from this computer charger.
Did he get most of it out?
Yeah, he got it out and he was fine.
He's like, that was so good.
Yeah, he was like, well, he didn't care for the hydrogen peroxide.
Oh, no.
He didn't like that. But we had to the vet said, keep pouring it in until he pukes. And then he'll keep puking until it's up. And then we'll just have to monitor him. And if you see any changes in his behavior, his eating, his drinking, his urinating, all that stuff.
That's crazy.
Check his stool, all that stuff. Like, this dog, I have picked up more dog poop in my life, not to dispose of it, but to look through it, than any other dog I've ever owned.
Yeah.
And he's mainly fine now. He's got a couple of quirks. He had a tick disease that I'm pretty sure fried his brain. And he's just not right in the head completely. Yeah. But the vet described him as highly intelligent but fragile-minded, which was a nice way a professional doctor way of saying this dog's nuts.
Dude, that's describes us.
Yeah. So, anyway, yeah. So I understand your pain with the vet stuff because we've been to the vet so many times, and it's nice to have a good vet. Yeah. That you can depend on for stuff.
But after that whole situation, it was just normal Father's Day stuff, visiting and eating food and all that other stuff, and then that's about it.
Yeah. And time's flying here, but I got a quick Father's Day story myself. So, I traveled home on Father's Day. So my family stayed up north because they're off for the summer, so it doesn't really matter when they come back. So they're with their they're with our family, but her immediate family, and they're staying for an extra week or so. And I had to get back to work because I just took the week off. So I'm traveling home. They dropped me off at the airport in South Dakota, and there is a mechanical delay on the plane. I watched
what does that mean?
I was at my gate.
Oh, no.
I watched the plane pull in. The pilots came through the whatever that thing is that lead the walkway to the plane. I forget what they're called. The jet bridge.
Yeah.
The pilots come off the jet bridge, greet the new pilots for my flight. And the pilot, I overheard this conversation. The pilot says, yeah, she drives smooth. Everything went pretty good. There was one thing, let me show you. And he pulls out his phone, shows the pilot a picture, and he goes, "Hey."
Oh, no.
And I knew at that moment, I'm like, this might not be good. And he's like, all right, we'll talk to him and see if we can get that addressed. And then 5 minutes later, I get a text about a mechanical
Flight
delay.
Delayed. Yeah. Oh,
and I never did hear what it was, but just his reaction, I was like,
oh, yeah, dude.
Yeah.
If your pilot goes, ooh.
Yeah. So
that's not a good sign.
I had a layover in Denver that was 45 minutes long.
Okay.
To begin with. And now we're on a mechanical delay.
Oh, so you're going to probably miss your flight.
So
if you make it that far.
Right. So I'm like, I don't even know if this plane's going to get in the air, let alone am I going to make my connecting flight? Yeah. So I'm starting to stress out a little bit. I'm like, you know what? This might not be that bad. The lady comes over the intercom and she says, hey, we're in a mechanical delay, but we still think we can take off by this time, which should get us to Denver by this time. And I'm thinking, okay, that'll work. And because however flying air travel works, it took longer to get up here than it did to get back. Yeah. It was a faster flight back to Denver than it was from Denver the first time. So
I was like, I laid on the clutch a little too hard. Yeah. I think some of the gears got tore up.
So I don't know what it was, but I just know he said, "Oy." And so we...
it's missing a gear.
Yeah.
It goes 1 through 5, and then instead of 6, it goes straight to 8.
Yeah, I looked out the window. I thought it was odd it only had one wing.
Oh, yeah.
But they landed it, so it worked out. No, but...
Did you notice anything on the flight?
No, everything was great. They got it all resolved, and everything went smoothly.
I was going to say, you made it.
Yeah.
You made it back. You're alive.
Flying into Denver is a bit of a nightmare if you ever get to experience it, because you fall into Denver. You don't fly into Denver. Because once you get, where you're coming into Denver to, land on the runway.
Yeah. You just cut the engines off?
All bets are off because the wind's coming off the mountains.
Oh, I didn't even think about that.
And if you've ever seen a leaf fall to the ground, that's what the plane does. And it is a bizarre feeling when you're on the plane.
Fall?
Yeah. Yeah. And you just feel it doing this number. And it's not like turbulence. Turbulence is one thing. This is a whole different sensation. But anyway, so we're on the flight to Denver. I get on the Wi-Fi on the plane because they had a free option where you can basically use the airline's app.
Yeah.
And I'm watching it. And thankfully, there was a delay on my connecting flight.
Oh, good.
So otherwise, I would have missed it. 100%.
Yeah.
Not making it. They're going to close the doors before I even land.
Yeah.
So now there's a delay for no apparent reason on the next flight. And I'm like, okay, this might work out. They do the whole thing where they're like, hey, raise your hand if you have a short connecting flight so people can see you. We're going to try to get you off the plane first. Half the plane raises their hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. Well,
they're all on the same plane as you.
And I'm in row 30 of a 32-row plane. So I'm
sucks.
I'm not going to make it. So then I'm watching, and of course, half the plane raises their hands that they have a short flight or a short connection, but then as soon as the seatbelt sign turns off, the whole plane stands up.
As they always do.
I'm like, this is ridiculous. I'm getting frustrated, and I'm like, there's nothing I can do. I can't control the situation. So I'm trying to calm down, but I'm thinking on the app, it tells you, okay, you have this far from terminal to terminal or from gate to gate.
Yeah, like 5 miles or 10 minutes or whatever it says. Yeah.
And everything keeps going hilariously wrong. So we were supposed to fly into
tells
gate.
You it takes an hour to walk from gate C to gate B.
Well, thankfully I was in terminal B both times.
So you're
I'm
in
like,
the right spot.
But I was supposed to pull in. We were supposed to arrive at B15 and fly out of B10. And then we land, and the pilot does me a favor and says, hey, B15's full right now. I'm going to pull into an open one at B38. And now I'm looking.
You had to run.
I had a 3-minute walk that turned into a 12-minute walk.
Yeah.
And by the time I actually exited the plane, I had 5 minutes until the boarding doors closed. Oh. So I'm sprinting as soon as I get off the plane. And for those of you listening at home, check the video because I am not a sprinter. I do not. I have not ran since gym class in high school.
Yeah.
I have not worked out since the pandemic made me not want
do
to
some
anymore.
Push-ups or something.
Yeah. So I am in no shape to be taking off running. I've not eaten much of anything all day, and
so you just feel horrible.
I'm basically taking off in a dead sprint, cold.
Yeah.
On a cup of coffee and a sandwich from. Earlier.
And it's an airport, so you're in the equivalent of a war zone.
Yeah. And everybody, I mean, I'm putting putting kids in the spin cycle. Like I am and I'm carrying a
You're a linebacker tackling some old lady.
Yeah, and like people are standing on the walking thing, like the moving walkway.
Yeah.
People are standing on it. I'm like, "Excuse me, pardon me, like I got to go."
Yeah.
And I am running as fast as I can to get to my gate. And I'm looking at my watch, and I'm like, okay, boarding doors close at 1:22. It's 1:21. I can see it. I'm almost there. It's the second furthest gate in the terminal. And embarrassingly, I looked it up later. My entire run was probably about half a mile. So
you get there and you're like, man, I must have went.
That
was at least 3 miles.
Yeah. Well, and then my dumb brain, I looked at it and I'm like, 2,000 feet, that's almost a mile. Cause I was thinking it was like 2,580.
Yeah.
But my brain went like dyslexia mode and I'm like, oh, it's 5,280. But I didn't realize that until after I already said it to my wife. And I'm like, oh, I feel better knowing it was a mile. And she was like, it was not a mile. And I was like, yeah, that was dumb. I wish I could take that one back.
Dude.
But you know what? I was struggling, and I get to the gate, and the last text I received said boarding doors close at 1:22. I get there at 1:22. They're still boarding group 2. I'm group 4.
Oh, you're in good shape.
I'm in great shape.
Yeah, you're killing it.
Other than physically.
Good. Oh yeah.
And
you get there
so
and
now
you're just heaving.
I am lightheaded.
Oh no.
I am leaning on the pillar next to my gate, and I asked somebody, is this for the flight to the city I was going to? And they said yes. And I was like, okay, great. So I'm relieved, but struggling physically.
You're hurting.
I went into a coughing fit that lasted until I was on the plane.
Oh, that's always
I
the
couldn't
worst.
stop. And everybody's looking at me like I'm COVID patient 0.
Oh, no.
And I'm like, I can't. And I'm like, I'm so sorry.
I can't stop.
I keep coughing.
I promise it's just because I'm out of shape.
I'm like, I ran. Like, I don't know what to tell you. I just ran, and I shouldn't have. And, like, I would have been better off missing my flight than running like that.
Yeah.
And the worst part of it was after I got there, and I am trying to stay conscious, I get a text from the airline about an additional delay to 1:53 p.m.
Yeah, it would have worked out regardless.
And I'm like, so now I have to stand here.
And then you collapse.
Yeah, so now I have to stand here for 20 minutes trying to regain my breath. And I actually left the line to go get a water and came back. And I could have walked. I could have went to the restroom.
Yeah, you were fine.
Like I had so much.
That's not your fault, though.
I had so much time.
They didn't let you know.
They didn't tell me.
Yeah, you didn't know.
And if my watch vibrated while I was sprinting, I didn't check it because I was locked in on gate.
You were locked in.
I was locked in on gate B10, trying to get home to my dogs.
Yeah,
you know?
dude.
And
half a mile, no warm up.
Yeah, dude.
No stretching.
No warm up for about 5 years. Like that was a cold sprint.
Yeah.
And I was never a sprinter. I was never a long distance runner. I was about like. At my peak, I was probably good for some recreational sports.
Yeah.
You know? Like I could get out there and play soccer.
Like you could play golf.
Ultimate Frisbee. Not leisure sports. I'm talking like a lot of running sports.
Yeah.
I was good for that. Yeah, I was good for that. No longer. And I told my wife, I was like, this was eye-opening. You know, I think I need to start working out. And she was like, I think so too. So
thank you for the support, honey.
Yeah, no,
I appreciate it.
That's a joke, but we agreed. I'm like, I could probably benefit from some exercise.
Yeah. Well, also, man, dude, just airports are the worst.
Airports are terrible.
You know, they always talk about, you know, how people say, like, back in the days when people were evolving and we formed tribes, but we were still living in caves or something, and people think like they're like, we're so much more civilized now. And it's like, dude, you want to see the most uncivilized a person can be? Go to the airport.
Go to the airport.
Everyone is an animal, dude. Yeah. Everybody is just, you want to talk, like, no compassion. You know, it's like any sort of human decency that you normally would have. It's like you have to leave it at the door.
Yeah.
Because people will just look at you like they want you to just drop dead.
I swear, when I was running to my gate, it's like people were trying to stop me.
Yeah, you feel it. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like, it's the environment.
And nobody saw me. Like, it was like a magnet where I'm like,
and
I felt like people
so oblivious.
People are just wandering.
Yeah, exactly.
And for
they
no
see
reason.
You sprinting, and they're just like, well, maybe you shouldn't have been late.
Yeah. Maybe your plane should have landed earlier.
You felt it too. You just described it. Everybody that was in your way, you're like,
oh, yeah, the rage. Like that primal rage of like, you have a goal, you have like you have your sights set on something, and anything that gets in your way.
Yeah, you're hunting a tiger out in the safari.
Enemy. Yeah.
And you see another group of people that are looking at your same tiger. And you're like, you get out of here.
Yeah.
This is my tiger.
Yeah. And my tiger was gate P10. But I made it.
Yeah, you made it.
Ultimately, I made it. The flight landed about 10 minutes later than it was originally scheduled to, and I made it home. I had a 2-hour drive after I made it to my final destination. So, like, to get home, I had a 2-hour drive. And ultimately, I made it. And then I had to come to work the next morning.
Yeah,
so
here we are.
And I had a killer headache when I got home after all that. But it all worked out. Yeah. And here we are. So,
yeah, here we are.
Anyway, we're probably...
You got the time. I was about to say, you got the time real quick?
Yeah, we're probably running out of time. So, I guess we can wind down. And that was a good catch-up.
Yeah.
Good catching up. Episode 1.
Just riffing.
About nothing.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
Just riffing.
Yeah, that's going to be a hilarious title. Like, episode 1, catching up.
Yeah.
Like, catching up on what?
Yeah, catching up on what?
You guys just started.
Yeah.
But
well, you know, we're getting reorganized.
Yeah.
We're figuring it out.
And ultimately, we're going to learn by doing. So,
yeah.
Like I said in episode 0, we're all along for the ride. And ultimately... You know, we're figuring it out, and this is going to get more organized as we go, but we got some stuff to learn still, and some of that stuff is going to, I mean, we need content to figure everything out. So,
well, dude, we had plenty. We talked for what, an hour almost?
Yeah, and we really didn't even get into any specific kind of topic.
Nope,
so,
but that's all right. We'll get it next time.
All right.
That's going to be the last thing we say every single episode is we'll get it next time.
Yeah, we'll get to it.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah, tune in next week for something.
But yeah,
of substance.
Anything you want to say before we get out of here?
I think I'm good. I think I'm just glad to be home. I'm looking forward to my family coming home, and I hope they have a good rest of their trip.
All right, cool.
So, how about you?
Nope, I got nothing. We're gonna get it wrapped up, and we'll come back. And
all right, cool.
Well, do this again.
It's been fun. Episode 1 in the books.
Yeah,
and
glad we got to catch up.
Absolutely, it's good to see you. Well, I've been Josh.
I've been Patrick,
and we have been
the Good Dumb Fun Show.
All right, cool.
Yeah, airports are the worst, dude.